Most approval processes fail in one of two ways. Either they're so cumbersome that people root around them, dropping a personal message to someone in Slack instead of going through the actual process, or they're a black hole where requests go in and no one knows what's happening until it's overdue. In this video, I want to show you how approvals work in Zenphi. The experience of an approver is very simple. The approver sees the relevant context, whatever the workflow is configured to include, and they have their action buttons right there. It can be simple, approve or reject, or any other relevant options. One click, the decision is recorded, and the workflow continues immediately. There is also an option to leave your comments. Those comments are captured as a structured output of the approval step, which means the next step in the workflow can read them, act on them, or include them in a notification. They're not lost in an email thread, and if the approver doesn't respond, the workflow handles that too. But let me show you how that's configured on the builder side. This is the assigned task action. It's the node you drop into any workflow to add a human approval step. Let me walk through the configuration, because there's more flexibility here than it might look like at first glance. The first thing to notice is the receiver of the approval assignment. You can hard-code an email address, but in practice you almost never want to do that. More commonly, you resolve the approver dynamically, from the output of a previous step, or directly from Google Directory. So if someone submits a request, the workflow can look up their manager automatically, and the approval goes to the right person without you maintaining a lookup table. Approval actions are fully configurable. By default, you have approved and rejected, but you can define as many outcomes as your process needs with whatever labels make sense. Approved with conditions, needs revision, escalate to legal, and each outcome becomes a branch point in the workflow after the step. What about reminders? In Zenphi, you set how many follow-up emails go out and how far apart. The approver gets nudged automatically. You don't need to chase anyone manually. Expiry and escalation are where the workflow becomes genuinely resilient. If the approval window passes with no action, the workflow doesn't just stop. You can define what happens next using an if condition, reassign to a senior approver, auto-escalate, send an alert, or in some low-risk cases, auto-approve after the deadline. That logic is yours to define. The workflow enforces it. For processes where approval isn't a single yes-no moment, where documents go through multiple reviewers, can be sent back for revision, or need to loop until they meet a standard, Zenphi has a second approach, the state machine. Instead of a linear sequence, a state machine defines states that a document or request can be in, and transitions between them. And crucially, transitions can go in any direction, forward to the next stage, backward for revision, or looped back for another round of review. For more detailed guides on using state machine for approval workflows, please watch another guide. The link will be in the description to this video. One thing worth being explicit about: approval in Zenphi isn't a fixed, dedicated feature with its own separate interface. It's an action, which means it can go anywhere. You can build approval as a standalone workflow, and for that, we have plenty of pre-built templates that you can use out of the box. Leave request approvals, finance approvals, vendor onboarding approval, document approvals, and more. Check Zenphi templates to find the one that fits your automation goals. And you can also add approval as a step wherever needed. This is one of the most common examples we see in production today, how Zenphi users are embedding approval step, especially in AI agents they create. They are using AI confidence as an automatic routing condition. When the model is certain enough, the workflow runs uninterrupted. When it isn't, it pauses for a human. You get automation at scale, with human oversight exactly where it's actually needed. So to summarize what you've seen, one action, assign task, handles the vast majority of approval needs, with dynamic assignment, configurable outcomes, automatic reminders, expiry handling, and escalation built in. For more complex multi-stage processes, state machine workflows give you full flexibility to move forward, backward, and loop as many times as your process requires. And whether approval is the whole process or one step inside a larger automation, it works the same way, with the same audit trail, the same outcome data feeding into whatever comes next. If you want to see this in your own environment, there's a link in the description to book a call with our team. We'll help you build something relevant to your actual process within these 30 minutes, and you'll walk away with something truly valuable for your business operations.